We interrupt this regularly scheduled broadcast to bring you this special update.
Update.
Your update will begin in 3, 2, 1.
We are here today with no stranger to the UP, no stranger to the political scene, having contested the elections for the first time in 2010. We have former Minister of Education, Dr. Andus.
Doctor.
Doctor?
Yeah, big difference.
Oh yeah, that's a big difference. I thought it was Dr. Okay, Doctor.
No. Yes, sir.
Yes, even better.
Yes.
Dr. Rhoda Arrindell, who's here with us this afternoon to talk about her candidacy on the UP party this year for the parliamentary elections. Welcome.
Thanks so much for this opportunity, Mike.
You're throwing your hat back into the ring. There were all kind of rumors around that you wouldn't do it again, and you had enough, and you're going to focus more on, you know, your books and your other career, teaching career and education. But you're back.
I'm back.
You're back. So
Yeah.
tell us why you back in the ring again, and what can we expect?
That's a question that the first time when I did it, I thought that was the time I thought I would never, ever, ever do it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was the very first time. And I was convinced enough to believe that I could make a difference if given the opportunity.
Right.
And so after I got the opportunity, I said, you know, you asked for it, now you have to go work for it. And it was a nice feeling. You know, you serve in different capacities throughout your life,
Right.
but when you get a different opportunity to serve in a place where you think you can really make a difference.
Right.
And in the beginning, it scared me a lot. And I remember somebody who was close to me said to me, it's not so much about having the power, it's about what you use it for.
Yeah.
As long as you use it to help people,
Right.
then it doesn't become something so dangerous to you, because I felt like it was, you know, a little dangerous. So yes, and then we put in place certain things that we had said we had some short-term goals, some mid-term goals, and some long-term goals.
Right.
And within 19 months, we were able to accomplish all of our one-year goals, our short-term goals. And we were well on our way with our mid-term goals, and we never got an opportunity. So I always said if I ever did get an opportunity again, I would like to do it. And I'm glad I was asked to do it again this time.
Right. Now you made history as one of the first ministers
Yes.
of Country St. Martin. That's probably
Quite
still
an
a
honor.
proud moment for you.
Quite an honor.
Yeah. Is that it's what did you take away from being minister? Although it wasn't for a full term, and what did you take away that you still hold with you today?
The first thing that I'll always remember is my first impression. You know, I thought, you know, idealistically you read the job description on paper and it sounds like something very fancy, but I thought we would get in there right away. You would get some papers and some policies and you'd get to work.
Right.
You know, it's coming from the private sector. I'd never been a civil servant before.
Right.
So coming from the private sector, if you say next week, it's next week, and you
That's
have to
right.
get it done by next week, and you plan. And so I thought it was going to be like that. And then when you got in there, and then you realize it doesn't work exactly
different ball
like
game.
that. And not only that, coming from people who were already accustomed to the previous system, for them too having to make the transition to something brand new. So you had a lot of bottlenecks. So with people who were brand new to the process, from people who were coming from outside with different expectations, you had a lot of bottlenecks. But when you sat down together and you really trashed things out, you come with solutions.
Right.
Yeah, so I like that aspect of it, that challenges
Right.
that you could overcome.
Now here we are going into another campaign season,
Yeah.
and contesting the election again. You're contesting for Parliament.
Yes.
We are surrounded by all kind of issues. Mr. Martin had all kind of issues to deal with, plenty, from A to Z. You could name it, we have them. Is there one or two core issues that your campaign will be focused on this year? I mean, there's plenty, but is there one or two that stand out?
I am single-minded in this. I
Right.
wasn't the first time, and I will remain like this, maybe till I die. The youth has always been my core issue from...
As expected.
Yes, that's not going to change,
Mhm.
until I die. That's going to be my focus. It has always been, and I believe that everything we do, whether it's in education, whether it's in sports, which are the areas that I've been very active in all my life,
Right.
it comes back to the youth. And when you hear people talking about the youth of it sounds cliche,
Right.
but it really is the reality. If you focus on building the kind of youth that you think you need for the future, for St. Martin, that would eventually be democratic, would be inclusive, would be dignified, independent-minded people. If you focus on creating that now when they're young, oh, what a beautiful country you have in the future.
That's
Yes.
for sure. Now, I wanted some of you, I don't know if you could mention some of the your accomplishments in youth, in education, in culture. The signature that stood out for you as minister. Let's remind the people about some of these things that you accomplished.
Okay, when we think of education, I think my proudest moments, a number of areas, but the things that were really there that I started on immediately and we were able to accomplish in a short time was to get funding and experimental status for the Charlotte Books and Academy. Because I remember, I had campaigned on extended hours, mandatory subjects in the curriculum, etc. And I thought this was the perfect model to experiment it
and the school has really bloomed.
Oh my goodness! When you see what they're doing, I'm really, and they're better than I expected.
Yeah, really bloomed.
So, Charlotte Books and Academy was one. That was in education and working on the tertiary education law. But when we picked up the compulsory education thing that was still in limbo, and we started the public campaign, and we got the feedback from the community, I was really proud about that because we were able to say we could move the thing forward again. In the area of culture, my baby was Emancipation Day. Emancipation Day. That was something that you had to approach with a tunnel vision, but you were able to pull it out because you had your deadlines.
Right.
But also getting St. Martin into the UNESCO as an associate member, because I remember when I got the documents in my hand, it was like impossible, and saying, no, this has to be possible. We have to make this. And so when it actually happened, and you're at the United Nations, and you're presenting your country, and then they say for the very first time St. Martin, it's a very proud moment. It's a very, very proud moment. It was that. And then in the area of sports, of course.
You're a sportswoman yourself.
We won't talk about Raul Elich, but yes, we will claim it. But also, more importantly for me, is not so much the facility, but what we did with the sports foundation. We created a brand new department because the ministry had sports and youth as one, and it was a fight to separate sports from youth.
Right.
It took a while because of the bureaucracy again, but we have today a brand new sports department that's totally independent from youth, and we started the sports policy. Yeah. And at the same time, we created a National Sports Institute because they all go together. You have the policy, you have the facility, you have the government arm. They need to work together to go where you want to go with sports. And then, of course, my GB3 project for youth, that was, that's something that we still want to, when we get back in office.
We need to
we will pick that back up because that has to be revived.
It has great potential, that program.
Yes, the GB3, yes.
When you first came into office as minister, you were real. Okay, well, people,
that hasn't changed.
People get what they see. You get what you see, and you at the point in time you were criticized about it as sometimes being too real. But nowadays you've seen a lot of the politicians and stuff trying to be very real or that real stamp, so to speak. I guess we could expect the same again from you. Nothing has changed.
47, almost 48 years. It's going to be very hard to get me to change. I believe in being sincere. I always tell people, if your dog and your baby don't like your mate, then you probably should get rid of them. Because they say they have instincts that they can pick up. I believe children, young people, know. Especially young people. They know when you're sincere or not. And I don't see it any other way. What I'm learning as I get older and maybe wiser is how to sometimes articulate things when you consider that you're representing more than just you. But I don't want to change who I am to try to fit to be somebody else. I want to be sincere, and I want to be able to tell people honestly what I believe. We don't always have to agree. I don't think me and anybody agree on everything. But at the end of the day, if we respect each other and we respect each other's opinion, that should be the most important thing.
The UP party.
Yes.
Why is it such a good fit for you?
The first time, and it still hasn't changed much, a lot of young people, vibrant people, brand new energy. And I wanted to be in a group of people who come in with brand new ideas, for old problems with brand new solution. And I like that. The other thing about the UP party was the balance between boys and girls, men and women.
Men and women.
There seems to be an acceptance, I believe, more so for women and their role and how they fit. And it seems almost natural. When I had, were able to look around me, I can't say that's the case for every other group. But the UP is also headed by someone that I admire a lot for his sense of candor, number one, very candid sometimes, you know, but also for his sense of direction and vision. And you may not be going in the same direction when you share your vision with the leader, but when you get an opportunity to sit and discuss, it is always able to exchange.
Right.
I get to see it the way he does. He gets it, and some, you know how Theo can be. We all know. Yeah. But I like that about him. I think that is very refreshing.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned youth a while ago. I just want to get back to that. You know, the popular thing is, you know, people are, this generation is a lost generation. I ask people who work with young people often this question: do you consider them a lost generation, and how do you think we can, you know, get them more involved, so to speak, in the process, in whatever process?
I would never say they were lost, because if they were lost, it's we who lost them in the first place.
Very true.
Because it's the generation before that guides and leads the next generation. Yeah. I do believe a lot of them are disenfranchised, and I think rightfully so. Yeah. We did not do a good job, my generation in particular, because the children that are coming now, the 18 and 19 are our children, in at least guiding them in a lot of things, values, core values. We messed up in education big time in St. Martin, especially in secondary education. We messed up in making them feel as if they belong and need to be a part. The majority of our young people are still excluded from the process, the political process, social, housing, etc. The best.
Right.
They're not getting the best. Right. The best is still reserved for a small group. And a lot of them are disenfranchised, and rightfully so. We need to turn that around.
How are you speaking with young people who come, if a disenfranchised youth come to you? I mean, how do you speak to them? What do you tell them?
Oh, a lot of them don't like it, but when they listen, bottom line, there are only two ways I see for us to really make it out of being at the bottom of the ladder to the top, so moving up, is either through inheriting a whole lot from your parents or getting a good education. Right. It is no other way unless you do it the illegal way. Right. And we don't want our young people to do that because it comes back to them in the long term. Right. You have to get a good education, but you have to understand that it's not yours to have just because. You deserve to have a good quality education. Right. It's your right. But you also have to be part of the process. Nobody's going to just hand it to you and say, okay, here, don't work for it.
Right.
You deserve it, but you have to work for it. And sometimes the way to be involved is not always easy for them, or it's not always clear to them. And a lot of it is our fault. Yeah. Our teachers, etc., what we do in the classroom.
Now, why should I vote for Rhoda Arrindell?
I would ask you, why not?
Why would somebody who's maybe thinking about it, but why should I vote for Rhoda Arrindell?
Because, number one, I'm committed to my people. This is, in all sincerity, I believe in St. Martin. I believe in St. Martin people. I believe we don't need anybody else to do for us what we can do here in St. Martin. I believe we can create the best product here in St. Martin. I think I have a plan where you can create the best minds, where you could get the best top athletes like the Usain Bolts around the world. I mean, it's not, why not here in St. Martin? I have a plan, and I think if given an opportunity in whatever capacity, we together collectively, but I have a plan where we can create those kinds of individuals to run the society that I want to live in when I get old. I want to grow old here.
Yeah, and we need to make sure stuff is in place now.
Yes.
So you'll be approachable. You'll be available. Everybody
at all times.
Any questions they could come up and ask you.
Anytime, and I always share my telephone number, and it hasn't changed ever.
Okay, what is your number?
520-1136.
Okay, so if you see her in supermarkets or wherever, please go up and ask her any question you want. For Minister, I also call you Minister anyway. Sorry,
thanks. Out of respect,
it's going to stay with you. That's right.
Yes,
thank you for being here. Good luck on the campaign trail.
Thank you.
And like I said to all of the candidates in front of me, bring it home.
Bring it home. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Tune in to Update at 12:15 on Mondays and 5 p.m. on Wednesdays on SOS Radio, and on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. on 102.7 FM.